Hi, I'm Elliot, a writer, and I'm typing out The Great Gatsby. Why? Because that was something Hunter S Thompson did because he wanted to see what it would be like to write a masterpiece. Now that I have some time on my hands, I figured it would be a good opportunity to try it myself. So, join me every Saturday until I finish the whole novel. And it's September. Welcome to another episode of Typing Out The Great Gatsby with me, Elliot. Episode 24. This is huge. It's huge because now you could spend the whole day from beginning to the end, from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. watching the typing of Great Gatsby. It's possible now. You don't have to repeat a single episode. Some episodes are longer, some episodes are shorter than an hour. It's perfect. This is something you should do. Just put typing The Great Gatsby in the background, have it playing for the whole day. Just have it there. It will just be a very interesting thing for you to have in the background all day. I think that's a very good idea. You should do that. Welcome to episode 24. That's how I wanted to start this episode. It's every episode. Is its own little milestone. When I reached episode 10, that was a big deal for me because it felt like, I'm in too deep now. Episode 20 was also like, wow, what a journey it's been. Episode 24 is a weird number. 12 is also a weird number. 24 hours in a day. Yeah, so thank you for joining me for episode 24. This is a big one. Kiefer Sutherland type of big. And yeah, like I mentioned, it is September now. When I started this project, a part of me was hoping it would be done in September. Just like I was very optimistic about this whole COVID thing. I was optimistic but also realistic, and September was kind of the marker I had back in April or May. I was like, September, things will get better. School's gonna start. It's the changing of the season. Summer will be over. And yeah, we lost a few months here and there. But September, things are gonna get better. And here we are, September. So will September be better than the other months? I don't know. Only time. Let's find out together. And week by week, it's hard to. It all really does blend in together. You could. It's very strange that it's been 24 weeks since I started doing this. Numbers, time, events in my life no longer make sense. One thing does. The Great Gatsby. Because it's so well written that it all makes sense. No, this has been a strange, constant, and I will always remember this period of my life, not as the virus time, not as the era of the virus, but the period where I typed out The Great Gatsby. So, I hope that, yes, a lot of bad stuff has happened, but perhaps the healthiest thing is to associate it with something less horrible. Something that you did during this period that you could be like, oh yeah, all that horrible stuff has happened during that time, but I'm going to try to look at it as that period where I did that thing, had a mental breakdown. and typed out The Great Gatsby. Well, let's start the typing. We have a lot to get through today, as we do every other day. So let's do that. Okay, so last time we left off, all the main characters are at a dinner party. I think it's a dinner. They're all together, and Daisy decides she wants to go into town. And so now everybody is getting ready to go into town to appease her. Because she's like that. Because everybody wants her to be happy. Alright, let's start. Okay, and the intention we're gonna apply to this episode, what we're gonna look for in this episode, is we're gonna see how each part moves the story forward. You know, they always say like, don't have that in your story, cut it out unless it moves the plot forward. We're gonna actually try to look at what that actually means today. So far, it seems like it's doing the opposite of moving the story forward. Right? It's like, let's go into town. Oh, jeez. All right, so now the three dudes are together. Hopefully something will happen to move the story forward, whether it's through character development or some sort of plot event. A few episodes ago we talked about our characters' objectives and the conflicts they're having, sort of what is pushing the story towards one of those events. Seems like there's none of that right now, and it's really just awkward small talk, which I guess in a way helps develop the characters. Builds tension, perhaps, is what's happening. All right, so now we know that Tom really doesn't want to go into town. And he's being a little sexist, perhaps. Meanwhile, Daisy just wants to have a good time. She's kind of a loose cannon in this whole event. It's great that they're gonna bring some drinks along with them. I think that's a great idea. Gatsby feels kind of oppressed being in Tom's home, his home field, and that's probably why they want to go into town. It's like a even playing field, if you may. There's no advantage. So you could kind of understand Tom's reluctant to go into town because he's giving away his fortified, power that he has, and now he's entering a scenario where he can't control it. Anything can happen once he goes into town. So we're sort of, I guess, what's moving the story forward. They're not in town yet, but we're kind of figuring out the chess pieces in this game that is happening, right? We're knowing what moves Tom can make and what moves Gatsby can make. And also, Daisy's just kind of this objective, sort of, she's kind of all over the place. She's like a wild card. Yes. Definitely kind of understand what they mean by their voice. Her voice is full of money. Makes me think of like the Kardashians or something. The Great Gatsby is pretty much a classic version of the Kardashians, no? Cool. I love it. Nothing like drinking in public. Oops. Gatsby. So yeah, you could kind of feel Gatsby wanting to take advantage of what's comfortable for him. At least this is how I'm interpreting it. It's like, you want to go in my car? You could be comfortable in my car. I have control now. He's trying to take that away from Tom. And then Tom is going to try to take it back. So this is almost a very subtle, like, confrontation right now. It's like a fight, but what is it called? There's a word for it, but I don't know. I'm not that smart. Yeah, so they're using the vehicle to sort of win over the group, and whoever has the majority kind of wins. All right. It's taken a while for them to head to town. But it's kind of interesting because we don't know who's gonna win in a way, right? So I'll still say things are progressing in the story. We're seeing the confrontation between Tom and Gatsby over who gets to drive what and with which car. It's a big moment here. Who's gonna drive Daisy? Driving Miss Daisy. I think I figured out where that inspiration for the story came from. The Morgan Freeman movie. It was called Driving Miss Daisy, right? This is it. We just figured something out, right? Conspiracy theory. I'm gonna Alex Jones this. The Great Gatsby is actually the source material for Driving Miss Daisy. Oh my gosh. I'm having a good time. I'm pretty sure it's called that. I've actually haven't seen Driving Miss Daisy. And she's going, Jordan, and I got into the front seat of Gatsby car. Tom pushed the envelope. Okay, so Gatsby is driving Daisy. Tom is driving Nick, and what's her name? Jordan. I like how 3 people could get into the front seat of a car back in the day. I think I've only once in my life. Actually, I don't know exactly the amount of time. It was like a friend's truck or something. It got into the front seat and sat in the middle between 2 people. I think I did it more as a kid. It felt unsafe. Felt unsafe. Yeah, but let's hope nothing bad happens. Now Tom is stewing, which is nice. We haven't spent a lot of alone time with Tom in a while. A lot with Gatsby. One thing I do like about a first-person narrative is that you kind of are stuck only knowing what the character knows. I think that's fun. It's that limitation that opens up a more creative, how do I say this? More of a creative expression. I don't know if that's the right word. But it forces you to be more creative, is what I mean. Don't. That's what I ask my friends all the time. Vertical. This. No, I spelled it right. Everything I did is right. So now, in terms of advancing the story, advancing the plot, we now know that Tom has been doing a lot of investigation, has been investigating Gatsby. That's important to know. So he's suspicious about this guy. Ugh. And they're just poking fun at him. So obviously we know that neither Nick or Jordan takes Tom too seriously. Oxfold. This is a fun car ride, right? Ooh, hard truths. We don't have too much sympathy for this Tom character, do we? Just from all the stuff he has done in the past, I think his character is well developed that way. Almost the most well designed character of this story. Like, it's clear how Fitzgerald wants you to feel about him, right? Then is Dr. T.J. Eckelberg's. Is this the famous cover eye thing? Apparently, Fitzgerald loved the cover so much that he added that part into the story. I don't know if that's the fun fact or not. That's just something I remember. Okay, my dog's coming. Oh, hey. How's it going, dude? Just doing this thing. Oh, yeah. All right. Where am I? I lost where we've got. I've mentioned a while back in one of the previous episodes that my schedule is getting kind of weird, especially on the weekends. And so I'm recording this not on a Friday afternoon, but today is Tuesday and I'm recording it during my lunch right now. So his routine is a little messed up as well. So that's why he's here. He doesn't know what's going on. So this is strange. So the story kind of took a little detour. We'll see what's happening here. Suddenly, Wilson, I think he's a mechanic or something. He's the husband of Tom's mistress. Tom doesn't really care about him. Poor Wilson. gonna sell Gatsby's car. Oh, good. Wilson, so reasonable. All of us. Whew. All right. All right. Let's take a little moment here, and let's do our Fitzgerald fun fact. One of graphics, like fun facts. Of course, there's none of that. Okay. So, a quick fun fact today, not a long one. So the first edition of The Great Gatsby is valued between $100,000 to $150,000. Just so you know, in case you have some money lying around, unlike this Wilson character here, who is scrapped for cash. Maybe that's why he needs money. Maybe he wants to get the first edition of The Great Gatsby. And sometimes selling a car or car parts is the only way to afford a first edition literature classic. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I don't even know what I'm saying. You wanna not lick so loudly right behind me? You can hang out here, but you can't lick so loudly, all right? That was it. That was our Fitzgerald fun fact of the day. That was a good one. That was a really, really good one. Very insightful one. So you could go out right now, and if you have $150,000, you could probably buy the first edition of The Great Gatsby if you could find a seller. It's out there, I'm sure. Yeah, let's find out what Wilson actually wants. Oh, he wants to leave. Oh, Tom's not gonna like that. So now we realize that Tom is having a lot of problems of his own, right? I think that is why all this is here. We kind of see Tom's life falling apart as well. Even though he's the villain, perhaps this will make him do more villainy things. I like that. $1.20 for gas. What a deal. Laid it on Tom. Mortal. Guilty. Sorry, typing badly here. Unforgivably guilty as if. Uh-oh. Okay, before I do that, let's do, I never found a name for this, but let's do the part of the show where I time myself for 1 minute and see how many words I can type. It's exciting. As you may already know, my record is 80 words a minute, which is incredible. I've never got there again. I'm just trying to hit like 60 or 70. Let's go for 70. Let's try to do 70 words this time. Let's go for 80. Let's go for all the marbles. All right, deep breaths. Feel free to do this with me. All right, ready? On your mark. You ready? You don't look ready at all. Set, go. Oh, jeez. It's hilarious. The duck. I should change it up. All right, that was pretty good. This highlighted word. I miss an H. I miss an H here. So we'll -1 for sure. Ash heaps. but that was pretty good. It was a bumpy start, but I managed to compose myself, and I got 61 technically. I got ash heaps wrong. It's a stupid word anyway. Yeah, 60 is pretty good. I'm okay with it. So now we have learned a lot, We've learned a lot in these few scenes. We're starting to feel a little sympathy for this Tom character as his world is kind of, falling apart in front of Nick and Jordan's eyes as well. But yeah, I think it's setting up towards something. I think all this is necessary. It's going back to events that happened before. I think that's a very important part when we're writing, is how does this relate to what happened before? And I think it really does. It's so easy to include a scene and then never revisit it again, like a plot line or like a character. It's so easy to not go back to this Wilson character because he's not a main character at all. He's just kind of this secondary or even tertiary, is that how you say it? Character. But what makes, I guess, scenes necessary is that it relates to a scene from the past, right? That this is all kind of tied in together. I think that's one way to look at it, is how does this scene that I'm writing now, that is in this book, relate to the scene previously and relate to the scene in the future? It's just like a really dumbed down way to approach it. Sorry, like that just came on really loud. God. Whew, this has been a weird episode. This has been strange. I don't get why it does that. It didn't do that for a while. Now it does. It's annoying. Whew, that really threw me off. Let's compose ourselves. Let's take a deep breath. Okay, we're back at it. We're almost there. Crazy days. One of the great things about stories is that it gives us a moment to escape. That's crazy. It's crazy life that we're living. 24 episodes. My God. It's very strange. Like, I look forward to finishing this. More so as just to say that I've done it, I've done it. But it really makes you appreciate how long it takes to do something. I think by me actually going through this process, it makes me appreciate how slow it is and how it's supposed to be slow. 24 weeks. I mean, again, I wasn't working on this every day, but you can imagine how long it took Fitzgerald to write all of this, you know, the refining involved, the writing the first draft, even just typing it out, the act of typing. So I think it really teaches us that this is a big thing. I mean, every little thing is a big thing as well, but when you approach writing, or even just reading, you're kind of in it for a while. And that's worth appreciating, even though you know it's going to be over. Everything's going to be over at some point. Ooh, misunderstandings. All right, there's that. Let's stop there today. That was good progress. We did a lot, right? Right? That was good. We did good. Ah, that was a good one. Where's my bookmark here? Well, you have just witnessed, this is a long chapter. You have just witnessed episode 24 of typing The Great Gatsby. What a journey it has been. 24 hours of doing this project, of sitting here typing it out, has got me this far. Imagine if I just sat here like for 24 hours to do this. That's something I guess Mr. Beast would have done. I'm not Mr. Beast. I am not Mr. Beast. I don't go all in with these ideas like he does. That's not my approach, and that's why I'm not a billionaire. That's why I'm not giving away money. Yeah, episode 24. 24 hours of typing The Great Gatsby, and it has got me this far. I feel like it should have gotten me further, to be honest, but I talk a lot in between. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next week. I don't know when I'll be sitting down to record this. Maybe sooner than later, to be honest. There's a lot going on in my life, but I want to be committed to doing this, to finishing this. So, yeah, that's everything for today. Thank you once again for watching. I will see you next week.